Welcome, family. Hollywood Progressive is back for a new year. Sunday, we swam over to the Rogue Machine Theater on Melrose to enjoy Middle of the World, written by Juan Jose Alfonso and directed by Guillermo Cienfuego. It stars Cheryl Umania, Christian Telesmar, Leandro Cana, Dan Lim, and Jennifer Polano. Fine play. Glenn, originally from humble beginnings, but now a big shot Wall Street broker, hops in an Uber driven by Victoria, an older woman who was once a big shot in Ecuador. This fine play drives them forward from there. Sharon, where does it take them?
Well, the director's notes begins with, whenever I direct a play, I hope to discover a secret back door into something that will make it personal. And that was written by Guillermo Cienfuegos. And I would say that he hit the ball out of the park with making it personal. He successfully took a story that is really a political story, an international story, a social justice oriented story, and he mixed in the ways in which these factors play into our personal lives. And he made it extremely engaging. The actors, Victoria Rojas, played by Cheryl Umania, Glenn Joyner, played by Christian Telesmar, Bob Gonzalez, played by Leandro Cano, Warren Lim, played by Dan Lin, and Barbara Blanchard, played by Jennifer Poyano, were superb. It was 95 minutes, I think, of really just sort of at some points edge on your seat, at some points just comfortable watching people enjoying being together and trying to figure out life. So I had a great time, and I think that the director and the playwright were completely successful. What do you think, Nia?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm right there with you. This is probably up there with one of the best plays that we've seen. This play had more of a cinematic feel to it. It wasn't your typical scene one and lights down, scene two and lights down. It was fluid, it was constant, there was very natural shifting from location to location. Some of these scene transitions were going from one line, literally just physically moving into another scene. Just beautifully, beautifully well done. The director did a phenomenal job bringing to life the story of these two people that felt like just two people in the beginning, and you sort of join them on this journey of connecting, and you see these glimpses of their lives as they move across the stage, and it was truly a wonderful experience. The one of the most not one of the most interesting, but something that caught my eye, and they talked about, because the day that we went, they had a talk back after the show, which was very enlightening, a very fun experience. If you ever go to a play and they offer a talk back, I'd recommend staying if you're available to. They're very insightful. But one of the things that they brought up was the fact that there was no pantomime in this show. So, as I think my dad said, the very first scene is in an Uber, and typically when you think of a car, there's either a physical steering wheel, or they put their hands up and they drive like a crazy person as they talk. And there was none of that. They were just sitting in chairs, and we as the audience, were trusted to realize, oh, they're in a car. And I think we all absolutely did. And we could just set that aside because it wasn't crucial. Like, we didn't need to see a steering wheel to know that they were in the car. And they still had these moments where they're looking in the rearview mirror as if the driver is looking at the passenger and the passenger is looking up at the driver. Just these little details like that really turn this play from just a play to something phenomenal. Dad, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, the playwright in the notes said he was inspired by two factors. One of them was that he takes a lot of Uber rides, a lot of Uber and Lyft rides, and he's amazed at how many times it's a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher who's the driver, and that's one of the components that he gets in there, a black man, he gets in there with all the arrogance that Wall Street gives you, and just assumes that this older Latina from Harlem, and then he's blown away when she unfolds one thing after another about her past in Ecuador.
Her
And
education.
yeah, her education and her titles and the things she's done with her life. Yeah, I mean, she's if anything more fluid. I mean, she speaks so well. He's kind of blown away. I know that many years ago in the early 70s, I drove a cab in New York City, but they had this big plexiglass thing behind the driver, and you never got to talk to the passengers. So I never had any fascinating conversations, except that drunk couple that I had to throw out, one out one door and one out the other door.
Oh
The
no.
second thing, though, that informed the playwright was about 10 years ago in South America and Latin America. Three women rose to presidencies of very different countries there at leftist presidents, and that was kind of an amazing thing. And I think he was writing the play then, and actually there's a strong political component to it. I mean, right now, as we've heard in the talk back afterwards, Ecuador is going through all kinds of upheavals, mostly from narcotics gangs. One candidate was assassinated recently, and a part of the play is the benevolent hand of Uncle Sam getting in their business, which rang very true.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you have more?
No,
Absolutely.
I think that we've said enough. We want to encourage people to see it. It's absolutely worth it. We went in the pouring rain and sat through 95 minutes, and for the most part, I was dripping wet. But I still don't regret going to see Middle of the World by Juan Jose Alfonso at the Rogue Machine on Melrose. It was a great evening.
Well, I have at least a couple more things to say. Nia, do you have anything more you'd like to say?
Um, I guess I did want to comment that I really enjoyed the stories that were told. All of the characters were very full. They felt like people. We understood where they were coming from as much as we needed to for some of the side characters. And normally, when you have two main characters in the play, their story kind of, follows like this, and they start together and end together. And this play just absolutely did not do that. These two characters were human beings with all of their amazing potential to grow and all of the flaws that perhaps hold us back. And ultimately, they ended up on separate paths that are very unique to the human condition and depending on everyone's situation. Just a beautiful play. Absolutely would recommend that everyone go see it.
So I wanted to leverage one thing, what Nia was talking about, the stagecraft. It turns out as we've gone to these plays, I'm more and more attracted to the way plays are put together. And the old-fashioned way of doing a play is it was set in a room like this, or a bar room, or a bus station, or a bedroom. And all the action had to come in there, and you had to explain things off screen. Well, here with the flip of a screen and a different picture and a couple little pieces of furniture, you went from a coffee shop to a bedroom to a lawyer's office to the president's palace in Ecuador, and back and forth, and just the actors pushing the pieces around. It was really fascinating, and I think it helped me keep up because I had to pay attention. Oh, we're now 3 years ago. Oh, this is the coffee shop, and this is where that conversation is. I thought that part was fascinating.
Yeah, yes, it certainly was quite a bit of movement, and it kept you on your toes.
Another
Yes.
thing I said, oftentimes the conflict in a play is between two characters or several characters, and certainly there was that to some extent. But a lot of the conflict was internal. The two lead characters, the cab driver, president, and the Wall Street broker, they had these internal battles with themselves of what they should do, what they wanted to do, what they were doing. And that rang very real to me because
just like real life.
Yeah, I don't ever have that kind of conflict, but Sharon tells me about it. Well, that was it. So that's good. Everybody have their say?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Middle
I
of
think
the
so.
world.
It was
Middle
Go
of the
see it.
world at the Rogue Machine. Let's say it one more time.
Worth every second.
Oh.
on Melrose Avenue in Los Angeles.
And do we know how long it's playing there?
It says on the front, I think. Well, well into March,
It told that up. And we'll put this up on the screen.
Yeah.
And we'll give all details in the write-up. So.
Yep.
Well, thanks.
Okay, good to see you, Nia.
Great date. Thanks, honey.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye. Thank you for sticking around. If you like the LA Progressive content and the discussions we have here, please consider clicking the subscribe button below and also give us a thumbs up. That helps to grow our audience by feeding the algorithm, which helps to get this content in front of more eyes. Thanks for stopping by. We really appreciate your support.